Hey everybody, it's Boardman21 and today's build is going to be the Poison Werebear. We're going to be doing minion poison using the Thorn Totems, and then we're also going to have our Werebear doing great damage based off of spell damage. So if you don't have the Thorn Totem proccing idols, or if they cause too much lag for you, you don't have to build the skill tree the same way. You don't even have to use them. You could just do a solo companion or something else in its place like we have a previous build on. But with this, you're going to do some high crits and you're going to get lots of damage in with all that poison. You will have to just kind of play on very low settings and, wait through some of the FPS drops. But for the most part, it's a super fun build, or at least I like it. On top of that, you have to be careful because in all the poison you're doing, it's hard to see enemy poison. So try and look at what mobs are on the map for every wave, and if there's any poison mobs at all, like poison spiders or poison chimeras throwing their lobs of pools of poison, just go ahead and just keep moving on those maps because you don't want to stay in one spot and get yourself poisoned. That's what the enemies are for. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the build. For skills, we're going to be running Swipe, Ice Thorns, Thorn Totem, Werebear form, and Entangling Roots. For Swipe, we have this spec quite a bit differently than you usually see, but basically we're just using it for attack speed, some more totems, which you'll see why we do that later, and then for the area. We don't need any critical strike chance, and because we didn't put 3 points into that, we're not going to get the crit multiplier. You can put 7 points here and take away from some of the leech and the claw totems if you want. You will do slightly more hit damage, and if you're not using the thorn totems, you can go ahead and go this route because you'll just do more damage with it like that. But with us, I like the claw totems. They block projectiles and they just count as a totem. So with that, we have 4 points in Battle Howl, 1 point in Aspect of the Panther, 2 points in Frenzy. We have 6 points in Way of the Hunt for that leech, 4 points in Wungarian Reach for that increased area, and 3 points in Claws of Totem. So every kill that we get, we have a 30% chance to summon one. So we summon quite a lot, especially when we kill a pack in a couple of hits. For Ice Thorns, we basically are just using it to proc as much as possible. It also does some pretty good damage for us, but also because it procs so often and it fires instantly, every hit that it gets on enemies also counts as a hit that you're doing, which has a chance to proc more Thorn Totems. So we're using this to basically just proc as much as possible, and the only way to do that was to go up this branch and down this branch, and so we put 3 points in Dagger Thorns, 2 points in Bramble Armor, and 4 points in Spell Thorns. These two right here give you a 40% chance when you get hit to cast it. Now we're going to add that to 3 points in Ritual Briar, which increases their hit damage by 24%, which is doubled because we will always have active totems, so they actually have 48% increased hit damage. Then we have 5 points in Thorn Shaper, and this gives us a bonus 25% damage because we'll have more than 2 totems active, but it gives you another 25% chance to summon Thorn Totems when hit, whenever you have those active totems, which we do. So we are at a 65% chance when we get hit for Thorn Totems to summon, which obviously is going to happen 65% of the time. That's a lot. We also have 3 points in Shamanistic Fury. This gives us 12% more hit damage per active totem, and since we'll have 5 Thorn Totems always active, that's 60% more damage, but we can also have like up to 10 Claw Totems I've had at a time, which would be 120% more damage. So you can almost make your totems hit 3 times as hard when you have 5 Thorn and 10 Claw. It's just crazy. They actually do pretty good damage. I've seen them crit for anywhere from 500 to 1,000 damage, which is really good for them, and they'll be proccing all of the time. Then we have Thorn Totem, which is going to be our poison dealer. So with this, we have the usual 2 points in Memories of Edera, 5 points in Venom Tipped Thorns, 2 points in Lasting Affliction, and the 4 points in Rotten Core to get that 100% chance for Poison Cloud on Totem Death, and Totem Death happens every time you resummon them. So we're just going to have lots and lots of clouds. This is what will make you lag. So if you don't want to lag, or if the clouds are just too much, take these 4 points out, put them somewhere else. You can increase the duration, increase their hit damage, do something else with them, make them last longer. Basically put those 4 points anywhere else. We also have 3 points in Forested Expanse, 3 points in Internal Forest, and 1 point in Groove Mine to make them all be summoned at once. For Werebear form, okay, this is going to be the trickiest skill in the game for me to explain because it is a snapshotted skill and we're taking advantage of that. So right now if you look at it, you're going to see that I didn't put 5 points in here, and you're also going to see that we're not using Ursine Wisdom, but we actually are. This is actually a snapshotted skill, and same with Ursine Heart. That is also a snapshotted skill. So let me explain what that means. When you first put into this, you're going to want to put 2 points in Pummel, 2 points in Food for Thought, and then 1 point in Ursine Wisdom. Then you're going to want to turn into werebear form. Then you can take these points out and put them elsewhere. Now, granted, once you've done that, you can't exit werebear form, so you can't get your life down to 30%, and you can't run out of mana. Luckily, we're at 100% mana, and usually, once you've got down to 30% life, usually in a position where you're going to die anyway. If you do get knocked out of werebear form, or if you leave yourself AFK for a few hours, it automatically takes you out of werebear form, you're going to have to respec the skills back into that. The same happens with Ursine Heart. Make sure you have 5 points in this along with all of these before you switch into werebear. After that, you can respec and put the points elsewhere, which we have done to increase our damage while we stun enemies. But we have 4 points in Ursine Heart, 1 point in Wizened Claws. This gives you increased melee damage based on how much spell damage you have, and we have over 400% spell damage. So we get 400% melee damage from this one node. We also have Star Claw, which increases your critical strike chance, which is the same. So that same 400% spell damage is giving us 400% increased critical strike chance. That's huge, and that's why we almost have 100% critical strike chance just off this skill. We also have 1 point in Thick Skin, 2 points in Ironhide, and 1 point in Woodwind Bear so that we can cast Entangling Roots all the time whenever we roar. Now remember, this makes the skill cost a lot. You'll see that I am not spec'd into Ursine Wisdom, yet my war only costs 4. Why? Because this is snapshotted. We went into this first, and then we grabbed this later, so the mana efficiency is taken on this. So we are using the 300% mana efficiency. We do not have health regen, and in that case, our war only cost 4 mana, which is amazing because you get all of that mana back in the first few seconds of it being active. We also have 3 points in Rip and Tear, 1 point in Intervading Blow, 2 points in Hightail, 1 point in Overwhelm, and 2 points in Skull Crush. A lot of people will not take Overwhelm because of the mana cost, but since we are using Ursine Wisdom, our charge cost is only 2. That's amazingly cheap. Only 2 mana. And then for Entangling Roots, we're just using it for some heals and damage. So we have 5 points in Nourish, 1 point in Bountiful Harvest, 1 point in Mana Bloom so we can get our mana back when we use it, 3 points in Imbued Sap for that 90% increased damage, 3 points in Groove Master for bigger area, 1 point in Reclamation to unlock the Lasting Briar, which we have 5 points in for maximum duration, and 1 point in Roots of Lap for the multi patches, which I believe is actually 4 patches, not 3. It just seems weird. It just pops up all the time if I cast it right now. That it seems like we're always getting 4. 1, 2, 3. I saw 3 there. Okay, that one's definitely 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That almost looks like 5. So something's kind of bugged with it. Sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 4, sometimes you get 5 patches. Maybe I'm just seeing stuff. I don't know. But let's get into passives. So for Primalist, we got 8 points in Primal Strength, 4 points in Survival of the Pack, 1 point in Natural Attunement, 1 point in Tempestborn, and we have 6 points in Wisdom of the Wild, which is just, it's so good for you. Everything about it is good. You have 42% increased spell damage, so that's going to increase your Ice Thorns damage. The 42% spell damage also gives you 42% melee damage and 42% critical strike chance. That's 2 huge things. And then you have the minion spell damage, so the Thorn Totems do more damage. It's just everything about it helps you. You're going to want the 6 points in that. It's a very powerful 6 points. For Beastmaster, we have 25 points. We have 5 points in Savagery, 6 points in Lamprey Teeth, 4 points in Ambush, 4 points in Boardheart, 5 points in Porcine Constitution, and 2 points in Primal Strength. That might be more than 25, but this number caps out. In Shaman, we have 10 points. We have 5 points in Ancient Stones, and we have 5 points in Teutonic Fury for that increased attack speed while we have an active totem. So we always have that 25% increased attack speed while the totems are active, and that's always. And then for Druid, we have 58 points. We have 10 points in Barkskin, 6 points in Blood Claws, 3 points in Tremor, 5 points in Spirit Claws, 1 point in Unstable Ground, 5 points in Rootborn Wrath, 10 points in ferocity, 5 points in forest fervor, 5 points in defense of the heart, 8 points in soothing slaughter. And the reason we went for tremors, we had to have points down here to go up. You could put the points in healing totems instead. We decided to try out tremor. And then for our items, so for your idols, you're going to want the spined ornaments, Herald Idol of Prophecy. These are the best ones to get. Getting 4 of them takes way too long, but if you can, it's going to be the best thing that you can get. They come with between a 4 and 10% chance to on hit summon a Thorn Totem. We got 8% on this one. On the others, I think we got 8 and 9. And then you get increased spell damage when you have an active totem. You can have from 25 to 60. We got a good roll of 57 on this one. For your weapon, you want attack speed, you want melee physical damage, and then for the 2 defenses, you can do 2 protections, or I did an all attributes with necrotic protection, and we actually got some good rolls on our weapon. This is like the most important thing. So for the melee physical damage, a bit lower, but for the increased attack speed, almost near the top. We did +5 all attributes, you always get 5, and then for the necrotic protection, it's about a 3/4 high roll with that 7 out of 800, and it's a perfect T20 weapon. So the instability on it, a little high. I think we were down to like a 35% chance on that last enchant, and we ended up getting it. So super lucky on the weapon. For everything else, you're just going protections. We do have 100% glancing blow. You do want your 100% critical strike avoidance, and we do have the rings, jewelry, set elemental protection, and then we just have health. We do have melee attack speed on the gloves. We don't have any movement speed on the boots. That would help. We could get rid of our poison protection. You know, it's only 118. It's not huge. And that's it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with some gameplay.